extremely politely. You complacent non-entities. Are you content for it to be reported in the newspapers of every country that the penniless of the weakest of peoples, by which he means what college campuses today they call Zionists, whom all governments are expelling, have so much knowledge and understanding of civilization and its ways that they can take possession of your country, establish colonies in it, and reduce its masters to hired laborers and its rich to poor men? What is his concern? Yes?
You're about to lose to the weakest team in the league.
Yes, you're about to lose, but he's not that concerned about people losing. He does not write these letters about other places where Muslims are in retreat because of modern nationalisms or because the Russian Empire is expanding in the Balkans. What is his concern? Yes, and that is a question of honor and pride. And why is it even, what is his concern? Why is that even more painful? Because? Empire is something, but he, by the way, is an Islamic renewalist, we'll call it. In other words, he says, he starts to think very seriously in this period about how Islam comes back as a powerful force in history, as an agent of history. So I don't know if he's desperately concerned about the Ottoman Empire. He's, by the way, in Egypt, when Egypt is already controlled by Britain. Yes? Islamic weakness, and how does that come out? What is he concerned with? Why is this painful? Yes?
I mean, this is the land, the Crusades, right? They were able to beat those back. Are you now going to...
Yes, but you guys are missing half the text. Yes?
The reputation and legacy?
Yes, but what's the main half of the... Yes? Yes! Why should you be ashamed? Why should you be ashamed? The great British Empire is taken... He's living in British Egypt. He is ruled by a Western Christian empire. What's the pathetic problem to Palestine? Yes. The Jews. What's the problem with the Jews? If the Jews can take us, where do you go from here? How much lower can you go? He's got a point. If the Jews of 1898 can take you, holy mackerel, you're pretty pathetic. You complacent non-entities. Themes. Islamic betrayal. Arab betrayal. Not betrayal in the direct sense, not literally betraying me, selling me out, but just weakness. That's function. This is a theme of Palestinian history at every turn. Arab weakness, Muslim weakness, and the desperate desire to be redeemed from that weakness. That's what drove Izz ad-Din al-Qassam. That's what makes Izz ad-Din al-Qassam an extremely minor figure who didn't live very long and had no successes, the Hamas hero, because it was an Islamic story. He came and he said Islamic honor is the heart of the story. And he taught an Islamic piety that will be our redemption. Islamic weakness from Rashid Rida through Haj Amin, through Izz ad-Din al-Qassam, is at the heart of the Palestinian story. It's a theme of how Palestinians think about us. Israel and Palestine become, in this Islamic discourse, in this Arab discourse, and in this Palestinian discourse, the symbol of Islamic weakness, the symbol of Islamic retreat, the symbol of the failure of Islam to meet the modern age, which is why the Muslim world does not march for the genocide of Assad. And it does not speak out or cry or scream or shout for what happened in Yemen, 250,000 dead, mass starvation. At this very moment in Sudan, 1.5 million people are displaced. The Muslim world doesn't care. Because that's not telling a story about them. That's just telling a story about what's screwed up in Sudan. But the Israeli-Palestinian encounter for a century is a story about Islam, and the weakness of Islam, and the betrayal of Arab politics, and the betrayal of that Islamic weakness, and how pathetic it is to be on the retreat because the Jews are refugees. If they were to discover that the Jews are not in fact imperial agents of powerful Western empires, but pathetic refugees, which they secretly knew, as we saw from the father of the Mufti, then it's even worse. As Rashid Rida clarifies for us, better to be pushed back by a great empire than by the dregs of humanity, running away from pathetic pogromists. And so the story of Islamic renewal is the story of Israel-Palestine. That energy in the Muslim world, that energy in Islamic intellectual discourse, that energy in the Arab nationalist story, in pan-Arab nationalist story, and in the specific Palestinian nationalist story, is why Hamas is popular even when it's hated.